Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm excited to be here today with my rockin' business coach, Lesley, my associate coach. Hello, Lesley.
Good morning, Nancy. How you doing?
Good. I think we're having a little internet delay on you. I don't know if it's happening on me either, but hopefully we'll get through all of this. So this is a huge pet peeve of mine, right? Choosing the right pricing model for interior design projects. There's not one answer that fits all is always the angle I take, right? People charge based on flat fee. They base it on square footage. They base it on random things off the top of their head. Some people do hourly. Most people in the beginning are literally pulling these numbers out of their air. Right?
That's a nicer way than I would have said it.
Yes.
I've pulled numbers out of some other places sometimes.
Trying to be nice. Like seriously. So you as an interior designer have tried multiple different pricing models over your how many years of doing interior design?
18 in the industry, but about 8 years running my own business. So obviously working for other designers, I was whatever model they were. And I paid attention. I watched and I saw what happened there. And then on my own, yes, I have tried everything. I feel like that pendulum has swung every direction, back and forth to the extreme. And there are pros and cons to everything. There is no perfect model. I wish we could say this is the one and only way. And I think that's a danger out there is there are people selling products or coaching on this is the way. And it could be a good way, but it might not fit with you and your business and your clients and your process. So yeah, I have tried a lot and I have learned a lot over these 8.5 years all on my own.
Yeah.
Making a lot of
mistakes. And I want you to go through, like, so together you and I developed the product called The Key, the Designer's Ultimate Pricing Tool. And we took into consideration my 20-something years, 20 plus years in the industry, your 20 years in the industry, and went, okay, how can we give a tool that helps the designer make the right amount of money, the profitable amount of money they need to run their business every single time, right? Mm-hmm. So we created The Key. Talk about square footage first. Why does square footage not work in every case?
I want to love it. I get it. It's sexy. It's clean. It's easy. You're just like, yep, it's a 4,500 square foot home. You do the math, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. And that can work. I think there could be value in square footage for a very large home or a full home. If you are charging enough per square foot, you have enough experience, know your numbers and know the time things take, and you can present a design fee that might be well into the 6 figures, because that's the reality. And the flat fee is people look at the number, designers look at the number and get scared. They pull back. They don't charge what they need. And then it's easy to be resentful when you realize that, your design fee of X allows for a certain number of hours and you go over that and that's on you. So it can be really painful. It can work. I have tried it on single room projects and that's where it really falls apart. Because if you think of footage of a kitchen or a bathroom versus a bathroom might only be 90 square feet. And if you do that by square foot, you're going to get paid like $300. It doesn't always work. So I get it. Like it's nice and tidy and sexy and packaged up, but it takes a big flat fee to make it work. And not everybody is ready to do that. Not everyone's at that level or has the scope of project that I think flat fee can be suited for.
Yeah. And like, let's say square footage is, you just said the bathroom is how many square feet?
Say it's 90 square feet, like a little, and that's probably pretty big for a bathroom, honestly. I can't remember what I said earlier, but they're not big typically.
Okay, so 90 square feet, let's say you price it right. All the decisions you have to make for that bathroom is the same as you would have to make if a bathroom was 100 square feet. It's only going to change when it gets large, where there's a tub and there's a shower and you have to add additional selections. If a living room is 100 square feet versus 120 square feet, again, is there 2 focal points that you have to make decisions about, or is it all the same decisions? whether it is 100 or 120 square feet. If it's the same, the square footage pricing model is not going to work.
Agreed.
For you. You're going to be making the same amount of decisions and make less money for the smaller versus the larger. So it falls apart like that. It could sometimes work with a full house if you've got a really high square footage fee and you know you're cushioned huge in your pricing model. If you're cushioned with huge buffer, then you're protecting yourself from all the stuff that can go wrong during the project management stage, right?
Yes.
So square footage falls apart because same decisions you have to make no matter how big a room is for the most part. Doesn't tend to work with one-off rooms, can sometimes work for commercial depending on the commercial jobs, right? So in the key, we say you can put it in the square footage and see if your firm, your company, your business has a pattern. If it has a steady pattern over a year or two, and you're making 40 to 60% profitability on every single job, then your square footage calculation might be fine.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the exception, I would say, not the rule.
That would be the exception, right? And then if you're charging completely flat fee, now some coaches are teaching flat fee across the board. We love this idea of flat fee. Does it work every time, Lesley?
Nope. And I've run the numbers after jobs and realized that I might have thought I was charging 150 an hour and I was making 70.
Right.
And part of that's on me. Yeah.
Yes,
and part of that is unexpected things come up. And I didn't plan ahead for. I didn't have that generous buffer on my flat fee to help alleviate that.
Correct. And I feel like people, when they decide to go flat fee, it's often because they're confident enough to go back to the client if the scope included in that flat fee is pushed. If the boundaries are pushed, that designer who has decided to go completely flat fee has the guts to go back to that client and say, you have added additional scope to the project. You have asked for one additional renovation or revision that was not in the original scope and in my original plans, that I have to charge you for it. But most of the time, what I see happen is the clients think the flat fee that they learned from a coach works. They go do it. Their boundaries are being pushed. Something goes wrong on the job, and they feel like it was such a large number that they can't go back and ask the client for more. Yes. So flat fee really can only work to me if it's one, a full home, and two, you have the guts to go back, the confidence to charge more when you need to. If you don't, then do not use flat fee because you won't have the words around it to justify going back. You'll feel nervous, and most of the time you won't, and you'll make less. But if from the beginning you do what we recommend, which is the hybrid model, you have the ability to make the most money possible and serve your clients at the highest level, because you're going to be making between 40 and 60% profitability on every single job. That money you're making helps you run your business more effectively to serve your clients at a higher level and to live a more balanced, happy life.
Yeah, and there's big value in that.
Huge value in that, right? I can't believe how many people are working. Their lives are just about work, where really your life is supposed to, your job is supposed to support your life, right? You're being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is supposed to support the life that you want, not suck the life out of you in order to try to make a profit, right? All right. So choosing the right pricing model for interior design projects is key. And I believe the hybrid model is the right way to go because we teach you how to charge properly for the design phase so that you have the cushion in there. So if you go down a sourcing rabbit hole, you're still making the money you think you should be making, right? But talk about how when you get really good at sourcing, how that section of your bill is actually making you more money than ever.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I want to talk a bit about hourly pricing too, because we talked a lot about flat fee because everyone's attracted to it. Hourly tends to be, I don't say it's old fashioned, but it's sort of what everyone used to do. And now things have changed a bit. But I can tell you from my experience, just straight hourly for projects, unless you are able to give the clients an estimate about where you think those hours will land, you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot because clients have no idea how long things really take. And when I first started out charging hourly, because again, it's simple, it's easy. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. And I will come back to the sourcing thing because I think that ties in really well. But what I used to do is charge a $2,500 retainer and tell clients when we reach the end of that retainer, we'll move to just regular hourly billing. And I can't tell you how many clients, no matter how many times I said it, it was in our contract. We had conversations about it. Multiple clients, we'd get to the end of that 2,500 and they would say to me, oh, well, I wasn't expecting it to take any longer than that. We really weren't planning to pay more for design fees. So do you think you can just wrap up the project for that? And I should have stood my ground, and I didn't. And I remember one project specifically between me and my junior designer, we spent 18 additional hours that I didn't bill for because I didn't have the courage to say, no, that was just a retainer to start. It's going to be more than that. But I didn't know at the time to educate my client on, this is a start. It covers 20 hours, but I'm estimating this is going to take 45. And that's where this hybrid model comes that I have found in my years of experience, it's the safest in a sense because you're covered for unexpected, and it's the most profitable it's been for me because you're able to capitalize on what you do best as a designer without being held to a clock. So the hybrid model that Nancy and I have built into the key is a flat fee for design. So this is your sourcing, meeting with contractors, doing drawings, doing renderings, rounds of revisions. We all know what goes into the design. And then it moves into hourly for implementation. But, and there's a big but here, it's hourly with an estimate of hours paid in advance, a block of those hours. You are not billing in arrears. You are not hoping the clients pay you for your time to install on the project. You have educated them because you have the key to know what those hours will probably be, and you can work backwards that way. And the reason this works well, flat fee for design, hourly for implementation. Hourly covers your butt when things go weird. And we all know implementation is the Wild West. Like, shit happens. You can't always predict for it, and you can estimate, but it's very clear that it is an estimate to let clients know what planet you're going to land on. Or do you think it's going to be $10,000 for that or $150,000? Those are very different numbers. And in the on board early means billing is so much easier. You're not scared to send invoices, and clients know and understand where that money is going and where that number came from. The flat fee for design is glorious because the better you get at sourcing, the more you go to markets and know your vendors and know where to go for the right pieces. You should not be punished because you're fast. It might take you 6 minutes to find the perfect table lamp. And so what is that? $27 at your hourly rate versus what if you're slow and then sourcing that same lamp is $200? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
So for the design phase, we teach flat fee because of something you taught me a long time ago, Nancy, when it comes to sourcing, which is, and this is, people hate this. People do not want to hear this, so buckle, get ready. Set yourself a 30-minute timer to source any one item. And if you haven't found it in 30 minutes, stop, because you probably already have found it and just don't realize that's the right piece, because the goal is not perfect. The goal is fabulous. And if you're struggling and spending hours sourcing an item, that's going to screw your flat fee profitability hard.
Yeah.
And you're going to make yourself crazy. Design is about creating a fabulous space, not a perfect space.
Yes.
So that's why I think the key it's worked well for so many designers that have invested in it, because they are profitable on the design phase because they're able to bill for their expertise, not the minute they spend bug-eyed in front of a computer. And then the implementation covers the time, the labor, what it actually takes to make it happen, because it is not as buttoned up, and you're not controlling more when it's implementation phase. When it's design, that's you and your firm, and it's your baby. Yes. Implementation is the Wild West sometimes. And you've got contractors, you've got architects, builders. you are no longer the one driving the bus typically when it comes to the install of a big, remodel or new build.
When you were talking, my marketing mind, right? I'm always thinking of words we can use to explain to people what the key is going to do for their pricing. And I wrote down while you were talking, the hybrid model is profitable and protective.
Ooh, I like a good alliteration too. It is.
And I think I'm going to add that to our landing page when people buy it, right? It's the hybrid model is profitable and protective. A flat fee model is sold to interior designers to be profitable, but it's not always. And it won't be protective unless you have the guts to do it right, which is really a high fee to protect you from having to charge additional, right? But the hybrid model is profitable in the design phase and protective in the implementation, project management, ordering, tracking, delivering, finishing touches phase, which is where all the shit goes wrong. And I will say one last thing that I have to get in here. The hybrid model protects you if the job goes sour midstream, which may not be within your control as a designer. It's sometimes they're pissed off at the contractor. Sometimes they ran out of money. Sometimes husband and wife end up fighting and canceling the whole job. Somebody gets sick. When you have a flat fee model, a complete flat fee model, now you're trying to figure out how much money do you give back as they're pulling out of the contract, or are you going to go to court to say this was non-refundable? So when you're sold a flat fee calculation as a designer, it is under the guise that it is non-refundable, right? Besides an act of God, so to speak. Now you could be in court with people going, you know what, I paid them $50,000 and then I had to cancel the job. They wouldn't give me my money back because they're leaning on their contract as opposed to just being a really good service provider and fair. Does this make sense?
Oh, I'm like, my brain is churning too, Nancy. This is awesome because you're right. Hybrid, profitable and protective. Flat fee can be profitable, but you're not protected. And hourly is protected, but you're penalized fast and good at what you do. It's not as profitable. There is a ceiling on true hourly projects.
Correct. Right. I have designers who tell me I can design an entire living room in 5 hours. Okay, that's great. A newer design. So you should be charging $400 an hour if you're charging hourly to compete with, and I don't believe in competition, but to compare your fees for the design phase to a newer designer who's taking 30 hours at 150, right? So what if you were actually both charging around the same amount, give or take, based on your years of experience and expertise for the design phase, and the more experienced designers getting it done in 5 hours, and their profitability during that phase is so much greater than a newer designer who might take a full 20, 25, 30 hours and they didn't make as much hourly. That's okay. And as that designer practices their sourcing, using a timer, getting better, understanding product and manufacturers, and just getting better, period, at sourcing, they are making more and more money in that phase. And the project management phase, hourly, protective, no matter what happens, you're going to get paid. So
bingo.
This is why I continue to teach the hybrid model as much as so many people want to go, can I just go flat fee and not calculate, like not track my hours? Either way, you should be tracking your hours to find out if your flat fee is working for your company. So no is the answer. Like you should be tracking no matter what. I don't care what service model you are using, you should be tracking your hours to make sure that it's working for you and your company. I think that's all I have to say. What about you?
Just a few light thoughts about pricing your entire business today. I think this is amazing. And I hope that if people have been hesitant to look at hybrid or explore something new, if your pricing isn't working, there are other options. There are tools out there to help you and fix it. And that's why we built the key, because I have paid so much money buying flat fee calculators and courses, trying to crack this code and wishing there was a magic bullet. And there isn't. The key is a tool, is a framework. And I love that not only does it lead you to, here is our recommended hybrid pricing structure. Here's what you need to charge. Here's the deposit. But we also, it's built in that you can figure out the square footage. And like Nancy was saying earlier, You can look back on past keys from past jobs and find out, you know, are you typically in the same range per foot flat fee? And then maybe you can move it, but this gives you the data that you need to make really smart decisions when it comes to pricing your projects.
You know, it's not, you're right. It's not just a tool to help you calculate the pricing. We're actually also gave you an hour video to teach you how to price properly. We talk about traveling and expenses related to traveling and how you talk to your client about this pricing model, what they should see versus what they really shouldn't see, and the proposal templates that go along with the pricing model are all provided as well. So you can learn how to price it right to be profitable, present it in a way that represents your company well, and get that yes to your service model that you want in order to make money and continue to run a profitable business or grow. It depends on what your goals are. But I love the key because you can eventually get to flat fee if you want. You can use it for square footage if you have consistency in there. But I will tell you, every day of the week, the hybrid model will make you more money, hands down, every single time. And it's protective, right? So profitable and protective is what the key is teaching you how to be as an interior designer. And I need to go change all my marketing assets to say profitable and protective, because that's what it is. Funny how you can create something and not really think of the huge benefit it is until you're just having a regular conversation. So, all right. So everybody go click the link. If you don't currently have the key, the Designer's Ultimate Pricing Tool, check it out on the landing page. It describes a lot about it. It's about, if you need it, get it now while the price is what it is, because I historically raise my prices every single year, right? So the new year is coming. It's time to stop running a non-profitable interior design business, and let's make sure you're profitable. And the first step is getting your pricing set, and it's giving you the averages of a lot of it, of all our years of experience. So if you're not sure how long should something be taking you, the key is going to tell you that too.
It gives you that points. You're not pulling a number out of thin air. You're not pulling a number out of somewhere else. You have a framework to start with. So you're not looking at a blank page trying to figure out, where do I even begin to prove this job?
Yep. And I like when you say it's paper confidence.
It is. You've used a calculator and you have real numbers. You are not guessing. And even, you know, I find that gives me so much clarity and confidence when I'm presenting my proposal. I've really ever had a lot of pushback, but we hear from designers, clients like, well, why is it going to take that long? Why they want to know the why behind it. This is a tool where you can say, you know, this is based on my years of experience, on industry averages, and on, you know, my expertise in the field. There's a million ways to word it. We've got a lot more in that coaching video that comes with the key, but it does give you that, here's a thing that I base my off. I'm not just like, I would like to charge $50,000. Here you go, potential client, or you have no backing as to where that number came from. These are real numbers and confidence. It has helped me so much with being able to say those numbers, because I know that's what it's really going to take to get the job done.
Yeah. And this hybrid model is really coming out to be for, I think we have over 10, 15 already messages. I just got the highest design fee I've ever gotten in my life.
Over and over again. That's what we're hearing.
That's what we're hearing. So we want that for everybody. That's why I'm trying to, scream this from the rooftops. The key, the Designer's Ultimate Pricing Tool, will give you all the information to become a profitable interior design business and give you the confidence to present your prices properly. So go grab that when you can. And I'll see you in a couple of days, Lesley. We're going to Luann Live.
We are. I'm so excited.
I know.
We'll be talking about pricing there too. So come say hi to us.
Yes. If you go into Luann Live, make sure you say hi to us, grab us. We'll be at a table and we'll be at the conference for the entire 4 days, 12-hour days, it looks like. So I'm going to go take my vitamins and I'll see you in a few days.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.